The studio behind games like Max Payne and Alan Wake is an interesting one. Founded back in 1995 and continuing to grow all the way up till now, Remedy Entertainment has since ditched naming their games just after their protagonists, but have definitely doubled down on the weird and bizarre. My name is Falling Hurts, and this video will be over the state of Remedy Entertainment, where we look at relatively recent news and information about game devs and publishers who have a lot on their plates right now. My last video was over CD Projekt Red, and you should definitely check it out. It covers just about everything except for the brand new information about the expansion. I didn't foresee exactly what that was going to be called or what it was over, so sorry about that. But anyways, back to Remedy, let's hop right in. So first off, let's cover the company itself. Remedy went public back in 2017, meaning that we as the public, as well as investors, have access to a lot of the financials, which that's so we can buy stocks and different stuff like that, and make informed purchasing decisions. Now, I won't really get into these specific numbers, they're out there if you do want to see them, but personally it doesn't really matter too much to this video as we're mostly focused on the games and what's happening with that. But just know that the market cap current value is about $265 million. Now, the reason that I bring up that switch from 2017 is because it was done for a few different pretenses, and I would say they're pretty important. Overall, the goal was to raise funds for two reasons. The first was to make games faster. Games like Alan Wake and Max Payne each took around 5 years respectively to develop. According to then CEO Tero Virtala, Control only took around 3 years with just under a €30 million budget, so seemingly this aspect has definitely paid off since the shift. The other main reason was to allow Remedy to better negotiate with publishers and partners for more beneficial deals like retaining the rights to their IP that they create for these games. For instance, the Alan Wake IP technically belonged to Remedy, but the publishing rights remained with Microsoft, which eliminated any future for the franchise. That is, until 2019, when the rights were reverted back to Remedy. Which, as we get into current games here in just a little bit, we'll see this clearly allowed for much more to happen with the franchise. Unfortunately though, 2016's Quantum Break was not so lucky and is still currently owned by Microsoft. Now, with these aspects in mind, we know that Remedy has moved forward with a multi-game development system, and that is mostly due to the increased revenue, and even more so the fact that there are just under 300 employees at the studio. And now that I think you have kind of the need-to-knows for Remedy Entertainment out of the way, let's hop right into the games themselves. From multiplayer to remasters and even sequels, there's actually quite a bit to go over. Let's start with the outlier, Crossfire X. So Crossfire is a super popular Korean FPS from Smilegate that's been on PC for, I think, a pretty long time. Well, with the console launch imminent, Xbox stepped up with Game Pass and partial publishing, and also a contract was set with Remedy for them to handle the single-player campaign of the game. Being developed in their own in-house engine instead of Unreal like the rest of the game's multiplayer, and of course with Remedy's previous track record, it actually had me pretty excited for the story. But unfortunately, it was not at all well received and cited many times as mediocre in reviews. That's really all there is to say about this. I can just hope that Remedy got quite a big amount of money for this. I guess it happens. I really don't know what else to say about Crossfire X. I mean, it's a thing. Supposedly, there's still a small team at Remedy still working on the game as far as maintenance and bug fixes, things like that. But hey, don't really expect too much from Crossfire X. But now I'd like to circle back around to that little detail I mentioned about Remedy regaining the publishing rights to Alan Wake. Well, they've been pretty busy ever since. Starting in 2020 with the expansion of 2019's Control, we saw tie-ins and teases for Alan Wake and a then-rumored sequel. It's important to state also that this was all confirmation that the two IPs, Control and Alan Wake, now share a part in the Remedy Connected Universe, or RCU if you will. However, since I'm making this video so much later, we know the work with Alan Wake didn't stop there. In September of 2021, Alan Wake Remastered was revealed on the active community forums of all places by the game director, Sam Lake. The Sudden Stop, the forum, saw the news first that the remaster would come to Epic Games exclusively on PC, Xbox One, and Series consoles, but also for the first time ever on PlayStation with the PS4 and the PS5. The game was also co-developed by D3T, a work-for-hire studio. As for the quality of the product, it looks great. Honestly, I played the original right before this on PC, and that was really cool. The improvements look really good and feel pretty necessary for the price point especially, and reviews for the most part lean towards favorable as well. However, some did state that they wanted just a little bit more from this product, although it was really just a remaster and a port, and for the price, I can't blame it. Now, the conversation and news on Alan Wake doesn't end there though, as the direct sequel, Alan Wake 2, was announced at the Game Awards 2021. This time, the game will lean heavier into the survival horror that the first game kind of skirted the line of as being a thriller, and will be published by Epic Games for PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S. I'd say more about the game, but that's really about it. There's a teaser trailer, but for now we wait. Though this does round out the AAA game, as well as the remaster being the smaller project of the 2 games that Epic Games will be funding from Remedy. So that deal is currently done, but I'm curious if they'll continue this in the future once Alan Wake 2 does come out. And while we may be waiting for quite a while for Alan Wake 2, we also got the announcement that AMC has purchased the TV rights to the IP. This, of course, will be in collaboration with Remedy, so it probably won't go too bonkers or too far off of the source material, and it will probably fit pretty well into the themes and stuff of the kind of fake TV stuff in the original games. And really that's all we know, but it's, important if you don't know. AMC is Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, The Walking Dead, and overall I'm pretty excited for this. I guess we'll have to wait and see though, so who knows. But that wraps up everything in Bright Falls. So I'd like to take time to jump away from Alan Wake and head over to Control, the other side of the RCU, if you will. Right now we've got 2 games to talk about, codenamed Heron and codenamed Condor. 2 birds with 1 stone? Or maybe I guess a video. I guess 2 birds, 1 video. Those 2 names came up with the renewed agreement with 505 Games to expand the Control IP with a bigger budget. The first, codename Heron, is simply described as the next large-scale Control game, aka Control 2. I do hate to disappoint, but that's all we know right now about Control 2. So come to find out that's not actually everything we know. As of 4 days ago, when I'm actually sitting down to finally edit this video to put it out, I'm seeing here that Remedy has officially confirmed that codename Heron is Control 2. This comes with the announcement that they are entering a co-development deal with 505 Games, the publisher of the first game, once again to do the same for the second. It is a confirmed next-gen only game with PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S as the only platforms that it will be releasing on. Published with Remedy on PC and 505 Games on the consoles. And that is in their Northlight proprietary engine, but we would expect nothing else. And so far, it seems pretty interesting, and while I had previously correctly speculated that that's what this game was, we now have full-on confirmation that that is what it is, and it's with a €50 million budget. Now that could change here or there, but who knows, maybe we're going to get a pretty promising game. And most importantly, as I mentioned earlier in this video, Remedy will be retaining the intellectual property to the game, which is something that they've been shifting to try to do with all games and partnerships going forward. So I'm really happy to see that that is once again paying off, just like I had said. There is a roadmap going around from a earnings report for Remedy stating that they'll have quite a few games releasing between 2023 and 2025. I believe it was 4 games that were cited, one of them being, of course, Alan Wake 2, another probably being a game I'll talk about in just a moment, but I really don't expect Control 2 to happen before 2025, if not even being a part of the 4 games roadmap, because we've got plenty of games to talk about that could fill that void. So with that being said, the second game that I mentioned was codenamed Condor, and it's actually pretty intriguing all things considered. This is a multiplayer spin-off of Control where you play as a Federal Bureau of Control agents in the oldest house, which is the same setting as Control, the first game. However, we know that the environments can always change, and there's probably a lot of variety that can be included in something that's still pretty lore accurate. There was a single conceptual image released alongside this, and it really doesn't show much, but it does pretty much imply that it will be 4-player co-op, so not some asymmetrical number of people or anything like that. And while I hate to sound like a broken record, there isn't really too much else known about the game at this time. I do expect a reveal of this one to probably come sometime in 2023, given how long that it's been rumored to be in development, but hey, it remains to be seen. The final bit of interesting information about this game for me personally was that the vibes and craziness of Control and Remedy would all still be present here. So to me, I'm still on board, and considering that this will come before Control 2, it's alright to just be excited for something within that universe. And that's it for Control as of right now, but at this point in the video, so far we've covered Crossfire X, Alan Wake's remasters, sequels, tie-ins, and its show, as well as Control's sequel and even multiplayer spin-off. But surely that's everything that's been produced, right? Wrong. I've got more for you now, baby, and we're gonna start with Project Vanguard. Now, I've seen a lot of confusion about this, so what is Project Vanguard? Vanguard is a free-to-play, co-op shooter being published in collaboration with Tencent. While only in the proof-of-concept phase right now, Vanguard is pushed as a live-service social experience in Unreal Engine 4 while retaining the Remedy game's DNA. Honestly, the last bit is the only saving grace for me personally here. They're not even using their Northlight engine, which is really sad. And personally, this sounds pretty stinky to me, much like the Crossfire X thing. Remedy is hiring like crazy for this one, and with it being said to only be in early proof of concept phases, I expect this one to be pretty far away. But okay, I know I got a little excited for that one because I really I wanted to put that out there that it's gonna be so good. No, but really, for the last game, I actually have something pretty excited, and it's their most recently announced project. And I gotta say, guys, at this point in the video, I'm super tired. Researching all this news, by the time I actually make the video, like, try to get some visuals to match up with the audio that I'm talking about, this is going to be a pretty tiring video, much more than the Cyberpunk one, because they only really had 2 IPs to worry about. But now we're going to be talking about Max Payne 1 and 2 Remake. And of course, Max Payne 1 and 2 remakes are officially in the concept stage at Remedy after they entered an agreement with Rockstar Games, the now owners of their long-lost IP. They bought it, in advance for Max Payne 3. These games will come as one package, kind of like how Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 Remake did, and they will be on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S, in Remedy's Northlight engine, something that I'm really fond of if you haven't been able to tell. Rockstar is fully funding the project, and once the costs are covered by sales and things like that, then Remedy will have access to royalties for making extra moolah and stuff like that. This is super exciting for me because I've personally never played Max Payne, and this is the way that I plan on experiencing them for the first time. Bullet time is a super legendary thing in video games, and it all started here, and I'm sure if anyone can make it better and feel even better than the original, it's the original devs. And with that being said, are you excited for the Max Payne 1 and 2 remakes? Better yet, are you excited for any of these games? Let me know down below. Either way, that's the bulk of the video. From the company's shift to public trading, size of the team, and even the multitude of games being made in association with Epic, Rockstar, 505, and Tencent, there was a lot to go over, and it was honestly hard to keep it all straight and as lean as I did. So if you like this video, consider subscribing, and let me know what you'd like to see me cover next. And personally, I'm leaning towards a smaller dev this time, so I can kind of pump out another video sooner rather than the turnaround I did for this one, just because I didn't want to research and do all this effort, but hey, here I am. I was thinking somebody like Supermassive Games with the Dark Pictures, or The Quarry, House of the Ashes, stuff like that. Or even Quantic Dream, Detroit Become Human, they're making that Star Wars game that's coming out in like 40 years. But really, that's it. Let me know what you think, who I should cover next, and what you thought of this video. If it was at all informative, or if I missed any key bits of information, let me know. Either way, you know everything there is to know about the games coming out from Remedy Entertainment. So thanks so much for watching. My name is Falling Hearts once again. Goodbye.